Hi, this short demonstration will walk you through using the virtual ship and running your own virtual expedition. We'll plan, initialize, and run a virtual ocean expedition, everything right from the command line interface. First, plan your expedition route. Your route will depend on the research question you want to answer. We will use the NIOZ Marine Facilities Planning tool to plan our expedition route. The link to the website can be found in the description. Have a look at the specific user guide for the Marine Facilities Planning tool to help you finalize your cruise plan. Here's a sample North Sea expedition. Once your cruise plan is finalized, export the coordinates of your sampling stations as decimal degrees. This will let you download your plan as an Excel file. Once you have your coordinate file, move it to your working directory where you will be running the virtual ship. Then open any command line interface. I will be using Terminal. Your command line interface and directory might be different than this. In your terminal, navigate to your working directory with the Excel file and make sure the virtual ship environment is active. Now that we've planned the route, let's move on to initializing the expedition. Run the following command in your terminal. Make sure that you replace coordinates export with the name of your downloaded Excel file. This creates a folder named after your expedition containing two key files, schedule and ship config, based on your Excel file. The next step is to finalize the expedition schedule plan, such as setting times and instrument selection for each waypoint. The easiest way to do so is by running the following command. This will open an interface that allows you to plan your expedition. You can change the values and select instruments as per your research needs. Underway temperature and salinity measurements, along with on-board ADCP measurements, can be switched on and off here. If you wish to run onboard ADCP measurements, select the profiler most suitable for your research needs. You will also need to enter the dates and times for each of the sampling stations selected in the MFP route planning stage. You can also adjust the coordinates and add or remove waypoints if need be. It is important to ensure that the timings between stations are realistic. There must be enough time for the ship to travel to each site at a realistic speed. Do keep in mind the time required for your instruments to work at each station and be sure to include enough time for that in your plan as well. You should also consider which measurements are to be taken at each sampling site, and therefore which instruments need to be selected in the planning tool. Multiple instruments are allowed at each waypoint. The expedition schedule and the ship's configuration will be automatically verified when you press Save Changes in the planning tool. Once you're done, hit Save Changes, and the tool validates your plan and updates the files. You can also check if the changes are updated by opening the ship configuration and schedule files. If you want, you can edit these files to make changes to the ship plan as well. Now, this was an example of a realistic ship plan, but before moving to the final steps, let's see what happens if the cruise plan is unrealistic. If the time between two sampling stations is only 2 hours, which is unreasonable for our expedition, we are informed of an invalid selection and given information on how to fix them. Make sure to have a realistic expedition with enough time between stations, keeping in mind the time required for each instrument. You are now ready to retrieve the input data required for simulating your virtual expedition from the Copernicus Marine Data Store. The link to the website can be found in the description below. Register yourself online on the website. Once you have your username and password, you can run the following command to retrieve your data. Enter your username and password as prompted. Waiting for your data download is a great time to practice your level of patience, a skill much needed in oceanographic fieldwork. Your data will be stored in your expedition folder. Once your input data has finished downloading, you can run your expedition using the command. This process can take up to an hour, depending on the complexity of your research expedition, giving you plenty of time for a coffee or to check out recent expedition blogs. After completion, your output files can be found in the expedition name folder under Results. If you're using a remote server, you can zip and download them. From here, you can analyze and visualize your data. Check out further tutorials to help you visualize your data. This wraps up your VirtualShip expedition. Thanks for watching and good luck with your expedition.